you prefer that we don't talk about that either? I mean, come on, Stan. That's what people are talking about around the dinner table, in a lot of homes, in the diners. Race is something that it's okay to discuss.
I think there are a lot of people who will look at this conversation tonight and say there are some people who are, you know, the wailing and gnashing of teeth at the idea that Atlanta may have a white mayor, and they would say, hey, if you had this conversation on the other side of it, and people were saying, oh, what if we end up with a black mayor, that would be considered a racist conversation. So I think we're hearing from a lot of people who feel that way too.
Two different things. Because,
I don't think they're two different things at all. It's exactly the same thing.
From the beginning of time, you have had more, well, in America.
Okay,
in
America, but that's not the beginning of time.
Okay, well, come on. Let's talk about that. Let me finish, okay? Since the beginning of America, we have deep-seated roots in slavery and segregation and Jim Crow and everything else, so it's really not the same thing. It's okay for black people to celebrate that culture.
And it's okay.
And be proud of it.
Yes,
and that's
but it's not okay for white people to celebrate?
It's not the same conversation. 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 That's a pivot right there.
And I think that, no, I think that's why people think on one end it's racist and on the other end it's not.
A woman by the name of Kathy Ray emailed me. We're going to put that email on the screen and then I'll comment after it. But I think it's fair for people to see what she wrote and get my response. I'll leave it at that. You need to be fired for the race-baiting comment you made tonight. It's okay for blacks to discuss certain subjects, but not whites. And then it goes on. Let's pull up the rest of it. Okay, so really, you are what I call a, now she tried to write the N-word, but she spelled it. I wish we would just put it on the screen. It's after 9 o'clock at night. People have the right to see it. She wrote Niger, not a black person. You are a racist, Niger, you are what's wrong with the world. And so I would say to Kathy a couple of things. Number one, you mischaracterized what I said. It's not the same conversation. It's not the same conversation. It's not the same conversation. I didn't say that white people couldn't talk about race. Quite the contrary. We think that race is an authentic discussion to have. It's one we're having tonight because it's one many of you are talking about at home. And it's one that has clearly entered the Atlanta mayor's race. And that's why behind the scenes, my colleagues and I, white and black, we decided, hey, let's go for it, right? Because we do try to keep it real here, and I think we do a very good job. It's not the same conversation. So I think when arguing with somebody, you have to be careful not to mischaracterize their viewpoint. It's not the same conversation. I won't mischaracterize your view either, Kathy Ray. I get it. On December 5th, 2017, you think it's okay to call this journalist a
nigga, please.
I don't. But I could clap back and say a few things to you. But instead, I'll let your words, Kathy Ray, speak for themselves. And
what's wrong with you, black women?
Breaking news, nigga. Some breaking news.
Facts don't care about your feelings.
There's something wrong with the black man's mind. There's something wrong with his mind. Nigga, please.
Oh, hell no.
Fight their asses.
Leesville police have arrested a man who they say made a bomb threat at a church. He's 37-year-old Tyronza Roush. It happened at the First Baptist Church on West Church Street yesterday. The pastor told police that he threatened to blow the sanctuary up. Police say Roush left the building and was arrested a short time later. No one
Other neighbors
injured.
took matters into their own hands after seeing someone breaking into cars in Central Gardens. Take a look here. Chad Carter is charged with auto burglary and assault. It happened early Saturday morning at an apartment building on Barksdale Street. A man says Turner was breaking into his girlfriend's car, so he grabbed his gun and confronted him. The two got into a fight. Shots were fired. Police took Turner into custody and found several stolen items.
Notice the kid wearing the backpack. Now watch as he gets slammed to the floor. Violence in a classroom always disturbing, but especially here. The Canton City School District says the man putting his hands on the kid, a teacher at McKinley High. This parent so outraged by the video, she turned to Fox 8 to get the story behind it. We're protecting her identity. She has a student in that school and the video ended up on her child's phone. sent by another student. So, what's the rest of the story? The video only shows a few seconds of what happened, what led up to it. The I-Team has reached out to the school administration. We've also requested any school incident reports or police reports. The superintendent released a statement saying teacher Ken Weatherby has been placed on paid leave under investigation. The statement calls his behavior disturbing and unprofessional, and the district will push for the most severe discipline possible. The district says the incident happened December 4th. This letter shows the teacher placed on what's called home assignment the next day.
Who touched me again? Do you hear me? Who touched me again? Do you hear me? Who touched me again? Do you hear me?
Just take a look at that for a second. We showed the video to other parents.
Be concerned about that. I have two grandchildren here.
What they gonna do to stop it?
The school district says the teacher described what happened as a restraint. The video came to light the next day showing more. No wonder parents anxious to know more about this. Ed Gowan, Fox 8, I-Team.
What's up, yo? Nice to meet you, man. So what are you going to do today with this crazy stuff?
I did this about like 3-4 times already.
All right. Going to jump from the plane, right? Yeah. Yeah, let's do this, man. Have fun.
As always, thank you for watching. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. Also follow us on the usual media for more and interesting information like this.
Fight their asses.